We are live straight from the Hive, where bold conversations are born. I'm so excited to have our first special guest for Live in the Hive. Courtney, it's a pleasure. How are you going today?
So good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, when I thought about running this little episode and series, I thought, Courtney, it will be a great start to kick this off because we actually go a little bit back before TTN, and we'll get there. But first, I think you could just start by saying your name, your age, and where on this beautiful planet are you right now?
Sure. My name is Courtney Lee Gunawan. I am 15 years old, and I live in Sydney, Australia.
Fantastic. Beautiful part of the world. I grew up probably maybe an hour from where you are now. So I've been to your neck of the woods a few times. Not much, but a few times. Well, let's get into a little bit of that history I was referring to. And that is to do with how did you become part of the TTN community?
Yeah, so I knew Mr. Neil because he used to be my 6th grade teacher on a school, so on mainstream school in real life. He only taught me for a little bit. He immediately became one of my favorite teachers. And then not long after that, he started KTA, and so I started doing tutoring with him, and then this year I am full TTN member.
Yeah, that's right. And it's been a bit of a journey. I mean, like you said, we were in the same classroom. I was your teacher. When COVID happened and interrupted everyone's world, it wasn't that long after that we reconnected again with your family, and you heard about what I was doing, right? Early on and what we were starting. And then it's been wonderful to have all of your siblings join, which has been fantastic. So that's been really cool. And a little side story, when school would finish, I was usually given the after school duty of walking kids to parents' cars. And so the Gunawan family, you were one of those families, right? So we had these lovely walks from the front gate to the car. And so I got to say hi to mom. Sometimes grandparents are in the car. So we kind of built a little relationship like that as well, which was really special.
Yeah, we'd go.
Who knew we'd be on Live in the Hive? If someone said that to me as you were getting in the car, Live in the Hive in 5 years or however long it's been, would have been like, what's Live in the Hive? But anyway, tell us, for our viewers, should I call them, our Hive members and beyond, with this video goes, what does a normal learning week look like for you? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so I actually do my learning at my family's charity. So we're here every day. So another part of why I do homeschooling is to help with the family charity. So we have a shop, a free grocery store. And that way, like any other grocery store, you have to top up the shelves, do inventory, interact with the customers. And it's a lot of a flexible week. No day is the same. It's very inconsistent, but that's why TTN is so amazing. It's so easy to do your work wherever. So I have my 2 class meetings every week, and I do my work here in my charity.
Wonderful. And that's like such an immersive experience with, working in the charity. So I love that TTN's allowed you to be able to, still be learning and engaging in the different conversations and topics that you're looking at. And then also it gives you the flexibility to be helping out with the charity, helping mum, because there's always so much to do. And particularly, I saw that there was an article where you guys were featured on 7 News, which was quite special.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Tell us.
Yeah, so we got a text from them just the day before, and they wanted to film our charity and what we kind of do. So the next day they came, they filmed all of us, and the whole family was there. So that was really special. And then we aired that Sunday night. And it's so funny that the people we know, like, they saw us on TV and we didn't even tell them that we were going to be on 7 News. And it was so fun to, everyone that we know to tell us, oh, we saw you on TV last night.
Cool.
Families getting help from us, and it's just been such a blessing.
Amazing. What was the first thought that went through your mind when they were going to be coming? Because that sounded like for me, I thought, oh, maybe that was planned a month or 2 out, but that happened very quickly. So you can be honest, what did mum say? Quick, everyone start cleaning everything. What?
A little bit, yeah. But first, when we got the text, we kind of thought it was a scam. Didn't know if we believe it, because you get those text messages from unknown numbers from these crazy companies, but they're real companies, but it turned out to be real. We were on TV, we aired, and it was really such an amazing experience.
And because that's not something that happens to everyone all the time. So like you said, a great experience that you got to be on that end of it, because we usually find ourselves watching those stories on TV or online. So how great that you were able to do that and then be able to, have the word about Love for Australia spread even further and have people come by that really need it. Just for our audience, tell the audience what it basically looks like and what it is in like 30 seconds. Because I know there's a lot of things you guys do, but explain it to our viewers just so they know the process and how it impacts the community.
So here in Seven Hills, I think someone asked me where part of Sydney I'm from. So we're based in Seven Hills. We have a small little grocery store, and it's like every other grocery store you see. We have shelves, we have a fridge, and we have bread, fruits, and vegetables, and families can come once a week to grab some groceries, just like any other grocery store, but it's all for free.
Wow. And that when people hear that, I'm sure they're like, are you serious? It's free. So what an amazing ministry and outreach to, assist those that are really needing, that kind of support. And I'm sure the people that you meet are quite grateful. Is that the general response you get when people find out about you guys and then arrive and are like, oh my gosh, thank you? Is there a lot of sort of gratitude in those moments?
Yeah, most are grateful, but we do get some other characters, but we do really value it when they really show their gratitude and we can see how much it's really helped their family.
Okay, beautiful. Well, it's so good. I just want to encourage those that haven't checked it out. Love for Australia. I'm sure we'll attach a link to this video, maybe in the chat. Sharon, you can drop in the link that others might be able to check it out after our call. But let's move on. Let's talk about your purpose, and let's frame this around the learning that's happening right now. And this might not be particularly what you're doing in class with the 15 to 17s with James, but what's something you're really passionate about right now? And I'm going to open it up to being KTA stuff or maybe something else.
Yeah, sure. So one of the biggest passions of mine is music. It's run through the family, and I love listening to music. I love playing music. Sometimes I write music. So that's definitely a big passion of mine. Before I joined the KTA class, I actually did iProject for one term. And a lot of that was surrounded by music. And I got to learn so much things, also the theory behind music and things that I should have been learning when I was on campus all those years. But I was having new revelations and learning something new every single day. So it's definitely a big passion of mine that KTA has definitely helped grow.
Fantastic. And we're so blessed to have James in that space, who is, quite the expert with a musical background and especially on that theory side as well. So I'm so glad that we've been able to help, boost that, build that into your learning experience and take you further. Do you feel like God is calling you towards something specific? Maybe out of the music thing, maybe, worship's a general connection we can make to a spiritual sense, but anything you feel like God's calling to you at the moment? Calling you?
Yeah, so I've been really seeking his heart at the moment, and I do have, I think he wants me to do more for a family charity, maybe whether that be in the field, trying to find new supporters for us. But I do feel like he's definitely calling me to do more. Honestly, I'm still seeking his heart in that, but it's always work in progress. It's a part of the journey.
Absolutely. And I think, you're in such a good position to be able to spend that time, fleshing that out and spending that time with him to help him guide, what are the things that the charity needs right now to continue to grow and have a greater influence? So I think that's just so wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. And how would I know KTA, you've been around KTA long enough to know that we do things in a way that's a bit different to the traditional school system in terms of how we connect and integrate faith with learning. From your perspective, how do you go about that? Because we provide a framework and we help students to bring in that faith element, not so it's something that attaches on, but it's something that we start with and then the learning kind of attaches to that faith element. How would you say you connect your faith to your learning?
Yeah, just bringing it all back to the Word of God, the Bible. There's so much that connects from the Bible that we don't even realize. And some of the things that we learn, you can find examples of that in the Bible. And I think that's really such a privilege to be able to to have that so easily. In mainstream school, I never made those connections, but now almost in every class, I'm reading verses from the Bible and I'm making those connections that really help my learning, my knowledge, and my faith.
Wow. So it really is Bible first. That's the foundation. And I love that that's something that is like a foundational step in the process. It's like, what does God say about it? Okay, let's then springboard off that. It's a sure way to know that you're navigating sometimes issues and topics that are challenging. If we know we're starting with scripture, then it's a lot easier to find God's heart and voice behind the different things we're going through. So that's great. Thank you for sharing that. In terms of projects that you're possibly working on, anything, and I'm going to say KTA related or maybe personally with music, any cool projects you'd like to share?
Yeah, well, I have started posting like worship covers on social media, just short videos of just me singing and playing the guitar. I haven't pursued that in a while, but I think I might start again. It's kind of one of those, it's something out of my comfort zone that God called me to do. Don't really sing in front of people. I only learned the guitar. I only had guitar lessons for a few weeks. Like it wasn't long. So most of it is self-taught. So I think that's something I might start doing.
Yeah, fantastic. And it's one of those things, like it takes a lot when, especially if you're in the music world or you're learning to play and sing, to put yourself out there, because everyone's fear is, well, what if it's rejected? What if people don't like it? And that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's so normal. I remember thinking that the same when I was releasing music. There's that, oh, do I want to release this? I don't know if I'm ready. But the feeling of doing it, I think actually just taking that step and then taking any kind of feedback, even by looking at it yourself and as a step in the timeline to go, oh, that's what I sounded like then. Here's how I've progressed. So in a lot of ways, and I always say this to students I'm working with, you don't have to make the first thing you do perfect and like the best quality, everything just polished and amazing. It just takes that very first step of uploading, you sitting in your bedroom or wherever you are playing the song, and then you just build from that. Because after you put it out there, you get a little bit more confident. And so I think it's such a good attitude to have, particularly, now that we can share our creative endeavors with anyone, right? You've got an audience now. So we'll have to, for those that want to find that YouTube channel, we'll have to have maybe someone in the family can drop a link in the chat. Not yet. Okay, well, they're primed and prepped. They're ready for it when it drops. And this question might be something connected to it. Is there anything you've created, built, or researched recently that's worth sharing?
Yeah. So I think just building my skills again on that music thing, I learned all about editing videos, and you can see from my first video to my latest one how much it's improved in the quality and the sound. Editing is nothing I've ever I've never dabbled in that before, so that was also something new that I've been able to learn. And also just building my knowledge. KTA, just the short time I've been here, I've learned so much, and my knowledge has been like the most fruitful as it ever has been in my whole schooling, my whole learning journey. The most I've gotten out of my 6 years on campus is less than what I've got at KTA. Yeah.
Wow, James, if you're listening, that's a shout out to you. Well done. That's so encouraging to hear. And to know that, the way we do things is having an impact. And so I really appreciate you sharing that with our community, because we've got people here that are from, I think, our youngest class. We've got, from our year one class all the way up to our eldest, the 15 to 16 or 17s. So it's so wonderful that we can all be on this call right now and be like, hey, we're all part of the same team here and we're working on similar things. Obviously the level of depth will vary across the age groups, but a lot of us are following the same type of framework. And so it's really encouraging. And for those that are listening, thinking, you know what, hopefully this is a chance for them to reflect on their journey with us so far. And as you know, every 2 weeks we're going to run this live, and I'd love to have a variety of students from different ages that, after listening to you, Court, you're pioneering this seat right now. I think it'll really encourage and inspire our other students to jump on, because even this act itself, like jumping on and being interviewed, it's kind of a little bit nervous. Like, it makes me a bit nervous sometimes, You don't want to say the wrong thing, a little bit of pressure. I don't know. How are your hands? Are they a little bit sweaty? Are they okay?
No, but I'm
See, and I think this is another learning thing, right? Every time I do this myself, I always think, okay, I could do this better the next time. And so I'm learning. And so, every opportunity, and that's what I love about what we do. It's like all these little things that we do, think of them as opportunities to learn, because I'm still learning. So it's awesome to be part of it with you. All right. A little bit on something you're learning lately that has surprised you.
Yeah, I think all of the topics that I've been learning have been topics I've been familiar with, but just having those classes with my other classmates, it's really empowering to hear the other perspectives that I've never heard of before. And it really does help, even though homeschooling may sound like very isolated and very unsocial. You do get to connect with a lot of other people, and to hear those other perspectives really changes your view on those topics that maybe you're familiar about, but you don't know everything about. If that makes sense. Like learning the new ways of thinking and the ways of seeing things, even though you're pro this thing, like why other people reject it. Just those different perspectives have made me learn so much.
Yeah. And I think I spoke about this in the recent podcast, Make School Great Again podcast, where it's one thing to teach what we believe to be true. And that's what we see in different educational settings that may be classified as Christian. But then it's how are we also equipping you with the skills to understand what others believe so that you can have those conversations if they come up and not feel like, well, it's just true because that's what I've been taught, right? Because that's only one part of it. It's like, well, let's give you the skills to understand why it is true, right? And to be able to defend that, articulate it, and respond to those conversations that come up, because they all come up, right, for everyone. Yeah. And sometimes it's, when you least expect. But if you've got some things that you can understand about those other point of views and perspectives that you've helped, have been developing in classes or through discussion, that goes a long way in those tricky situations sometimes. So I love that you've mentioned that. That's really encouraging. What about a challenge you've faced in your learning journey? Maybe there is one, maybe there isn't. But if there is, you don't have to give all the details if you don't like. But how would you say you're working through it?
Yeah, so one is probably time management. With the charity, as I said, it's very inconsistent, the schedules. No day is the same. You can't really predict when a time will be quiet, when a time will be busy. So just managing my time, even sacrificing maybe the weekends to finish my work, that's why TTN is so great, the flexibility, so that ability to do your work whenever there's time, and just to, that management is something I'm still working on, and TTN has really helped me improve.
Wow. Thank you. I mean, hey, me too. Time management. I think in a lot of ways, a lot of adults, need to work on improving the way they do things and how they manage those things that come up that we don't really have much control over. Like right now, you could have 10 people lined up ready to go at the charity. And as soon as you get off this call, you got to run out there and help them out. So you just don't know. But that's a good, I think that's a really good point. Time management, for those that are listening, I think when you're in the seat where you're the focus, especially in the homeschooling world, where there's a bit more responsibility to take independent ownership, managing your time becomes a real big part of that. Because otherwise you could just choose to not use your time wisely and then the day's gone. So that's a very common thing. All right. We're nearly at the end. Couple more questions to go. You're doing so well. If you could share one piece of advice or encouragement with other students, what would it be?
Yeah, I think just to value KTA. It's a learning experience like no other. And not every other student has this experience and chance to grow their knowledge. And really, this KTA really prepares you to become an adult and to have those critical thinking and to have those conversations that are difficult. And I've been to mainstream school. They don't prepare you for anything. They don't do any of that. They don't help you they don't guide you on how to navigate your adult life when it comes to that time. This learning experience is such a privilege, and you really should value it. It's such an amazing and unique experience that, again, no other student has. So hopefully that'll encourage others to do their best in their work, knowing that it's truly something special.
Wow. Thanks, Court. I think that will hopefully hit home with a lot of our viewers and those that watch this after. Yeah, to just make the most of this opportunity. Because, it isn't common. It's not a common thing. What we're doing is quite unique. So, I really appreciate your insights and from your perspective as well. It's really powerful. And last question, this one's kind of like a curveball question. I was looking at this question thinking, how would I answer this? But here it is. It says, what's one question you wish someone would ask you?
So tricky. All of the questions have been questions no one's asked me before. So probably, do you regret moving to homeschooling from mainstream school? I think that transition for me was one of the hardest. I was really resistant and really stubborn. I did not want to go to homeschooling, but I don't regret it at all. You know, my relationship with God has been better than ever. I've been close to him and I've been experiencing him better than I ever have. And you know, a lot of people think homeschooling has kind of got a bad rap, but me who has been to both mainstream school and homeschooling, it's so much better homeschooling. You're learning, you know, in a classroom, a teacher can't really make sure that every student truly understands a concept or, you know, a topic. But in homeschooling, you really get that intimacy with your teacher and you can really understand things that you don't know. And it's such a privilege. And I just hope that encourage someone who has maybe had those thoughts, oh, I want to move to mainstream school, on-campus school is much better. And feel free to ask me questions about my experience, because truly I do not regret going to homeschooling. It's the best decision I've ever made. And, you know, just trusting in God's plan, I did not want to move to homeschooling. I loved my on-campus friends. I loved my school. I love my teachers, but it's really, you just really need to trust in his plan. And that may take a long time for you to realize how amazing it was. It took me a few years, but that might just be my stubbornness blocking me from seeing God's goodness. But it's really just, he does have your best interest in mind always, and he does do what is best for your life and for you.
Wow. There's the clip. That's just incredible. Thank you so much for your honesty and perspectives on that experience, because it is something that is deeply personal, right? I think as humans, we don't like change a lot. It's sometimes a really tough thing. And so when you do go from something you're comfortable in and then switch over, that period of time is tough. So I appreciate you being just completely honest with how that was like, and then the fruit that's come from that you actually just realized actually that was a really good decision. I'm so glad I made it. Yeah. So wow, so insightful from your perspective. I mean, I don't think I've heard that from you yet. So I'm hearing it the same with everybody now. So yeah, really appreciate that honesty. Well, that is the end of Live in the Hive for our first episode. Who knows where we take this? I mean, that was so well done, Court. You're amazing. I think this will have inspired our other community members to jump in to the hot seat and tackle some of these questions. And they won't always be the same questions, everyone. We'll probably adjust them for different age groups and things. But I will say, Courtney, yeah, great job. Thank you for just being so willing to try something new, be the first person in this seat. Like I said, I look forward to getting this recording out, and hopefully more people in our community can hear it. So thanks again, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the platform to, again, share those experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, fantastic, guys. Well, everybody that's here, we've got 18 altogether. That's amazing. So I'm sure Courtney would be open to, if you've got a question for her or something that she responded to, send her a message on the platform, and I'm sure she'll be happy to get back to you as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great. Well, we'll see you, everyone. Till next time. I think it'll be next term, next Live in the Hive, but send me a message if you want to be involved and we can go from there. All right, that's it.
That was your time.